these latest attacks, what's come out over the past few days, appears to me to be a heavily coordinated campaign that was probably planned months ago. And it's a direct reaction to the success of my work over the past, especially the past 6 months, past year and a half, in really exposing RSS-BJP and in managing to derail some of their plans, most notably in the case of Sri Preston Kulkarni, who was so close so intimate with the RSS's top people in America, and whose campaign was poised for success. He had outraised his opponent 3-1. The latest polls right before the election put him at probably winning by about 5 points, and then he lost by 7 points. And they were having smooth sailing, and they were self-assured of a guaranteed victory until I got wind of his RSS ties, began writing about them. That hit a nerve. People picked it up, organized a campaign against him within that district, and catastrophically defeated him. Just, I would say at this point, well, he's been now appointed to a position in the Biden administration about 2 weeks ago. But at this point, I would say that his prospects, ambitions for electoral office have been pretty thoroughly destroyed. I don't think he would ever be able to successfully run for political office again in an elected position. And so that a number of other things have happened over the past 6 months. Tulsi Gabbard is finally out of office. Her presidential campaign just imploded. And on top of that, she had announced that she was retiring from Congress. She wouldn't run for re-election. And so she's no longer in office after being one of the most useful supporters of the RSS-BJP in America to help whitewash Modi's regime right around the time he was first elected. Then you had the Overseas Friends of the BJP, which has been crucial for helping the BJP Modi get elected in India. And they've been in operation since the early 90s for nearly 30 years. All of a sudden, about a year after I began writing about their connection to Tulsi Gabbard, and then just more extensively researching, writing, publishing articles, and talking about their activities in America and how important they were to Modi BJP. All of a sudden, after nearly 30 years in operation, just in August of last year, they were apparently compelled to register under the Foreign Agents Act in America. These various issues combined, I think that the RSS-BJP is really feeling the pressure. They're feeling the heat. They know that I'm a consistent thorn in their flesh, and they know that they can't shut me up. And so I think that they cooked up this as a conspiracy to coincide with the pressure that the Modi regime is facing in India right now from this farmers' protest, which is the most pressure it's ever faced since 2014, and is one of the largest, perhaps the largest ongoing protests in the world today. And so I think they saw that as an opportunity to two birds with one stone, maybe.
I love how you just gave that answer in such a chill way, but like you could brag so much about all those accomplishments, man, but you're so chill. I love it. And all those things, a lot of what you just said is what got me into your work, because I didn't know about all these financial ties in the US. I didn't know about the Overseas Friends of the BJP. And literally everything you listed, you had a direct part in not going out and doing something shady. You just wrote. Like, people are like, who is this guy? He just writes. So you wrote an article with good reporting, good journalism, like what I'm going to throw on the screen right now. Like with the Kulkarni campaign, I was kind of suspicious because I understand like the thing like in America, like this phobia, Hindu phobia. Well, is it legit? Is there real? So I was suspicious, but then I saw your money trail, and that's when I did a video on the Preston Kulkarni thing, because I said, okay, this is legit. And I used a lot of your funding information because I'm like, all right, this is real, legit journalism. And you did this report right here in September that just kind of listed all the money. And it's just facts. It's just, here's the receipts, here's this guy's name, here's what he did, here's this. I mean, you just kind of label everything, and you talk about all Kulkarni's ties, what he's talking about. And it's very methodical, and everything you talked about, the Tulsi Gabbard campaign, you laid it out, the Kulkarni, you laid it out, the overseas, and yeah, you have been very successful with everything. So that's what I like about you, is that you're very successful in what you do. So they notice it. Your name was brought up in the Australian Parliament when they're talking about it. So
Yeah,
it's like,
that actually, that's a good point. That slipped my mind just now, but I would especially call attention to that, for instance. So yeah, my name was brought up on the floor of the Australian Senate
it's crazy, isn't it?
just in December, I believe, in connection with what was actually a really significant issue historically, historical issue, where I don't believe that ever before you've had a federal level politician in any of these English-speaking countries actually bringing up the RSS and specifically denouncing them, calling them fascist. And so that was in connection with as a follow-up by this Australian Senator Janet Rice to the ambassador to Australia's ambassador to India, having gone to the RSS headquarters, meeting in this really fawning way, doing these photo ops with the head of the RSS. Again, I seized on that. I started reporting it. And the Australian senator, thanks to my work as well as the work of local Indian diaspora in Australia, then consequently spoke out in this historical move on the floor of the Senate. So that's another issue I would point to, that I'm relentless. I'm not giving up. They haven't been able to shut me up, and I think it's starting to worry them.
Well, they have nothing. That's the thing, man. The pen is mightier than the sword.